Meet Mazda's newest arrival, a sharp mix of clean design, smart tech, and real-world driving feel. This is the one aiming to raise the bar for comfort and performance without losing the classic Mazda charm. In the next few minutes, we'll break down what makes it shine, where it falls short, and whether it earns a spot on your shortlist. Slim LED headlights paired the first thing you notice. Mazda leans into a bolder look this year, and the slim LED headlights sharpen the face, while the wider grille gives the car a planted stance that feels confident even before you start it. It sets the tone for everything that follows. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where Mazda keeps things simple but refined. The layout stays driver-focused, the materials feel tight and well-finished, and the controls are placed exactly where you expect them. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The engine responds cleanly at low speeds, the steering feels direct, and the chassis settles nicely over uneven pavement, giving the car an easy rhythm in daily driving. New wheel designs. You can tell right away that Mazda wanted this model to feel more refined, and the first clue is in the wheels. The new designs cut through the air with cleaner lines, improving efficiency while trimming wind noise at highway speeds. It's a small detail, but it changes the way the whole car moves. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where the focus shifts from aero gains to everyday comfort. The layout feels organized, the materials have a soft, deliberate touch, and the tech is arranged so you can glance once and get exactly what you need. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain responds with a steady surge. The steering stays predictable, and the suspension keeps the body settled in quick transitions. But this engineering comes with a cost, and that's where value matters most. Overall, the package leans strong for buyers who want sharp handling and premium touches without paying luxury brand prices, making this Mazda an intelligent, well-rounded choice. Upgraded cabin materials. The moment you step up to this Mazda, the clean exterior lines set the tone. The proportions feel balanced, the lighting is sharp, and the overall shape aims for a modern, understated look that doesn't try too hard to stand out. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where Mazda puts real effort into refinement. The upgraded materials bring soft touch panels across the dash and doors, and the contrast stitching adds just enough detail to make the cabin feel crafted instead of assembled. It's a space that feels confident and well considered. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The engine responds with a smooth climb through the revs. The steering stays controlled, and the chassis settles nicely over broken pavement. It's tuned to be easy to drive without feeling disconnected. Larger central display. Mazda sets the tone with a clean, modern exterior that feels more deliberate than flashy. The lines are tight, the proportions stay balanced, and the lighting signatures give the front and rear a clear identity without leaning on gimmicks. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where Mazda puts its focus on clarity and control. The larger central display becomes the anchor point, running the latest Mazda Connect interface with sharper graphics and quicker responses. It's easier to read at a glance, and the menu structure keeps everything simple enough to use while driving. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain settles into a smooth rhythm on city streets. The steering feels natural, and the suspension filters out small bumps without losing precision. Enhanced seat padding. Mazda starts with a clean, purposeful exterior. The shaping stays tight, the lighting is crisp, and the body lines carry a sense of balance that feels confident without trying too hard to look aggressive. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where Mazda puts real effort into long-distance comfort. The enhanced seat padding settles your weight more evenly, and the improved lumbar support keeps your posture steady on hours-long drives. It feels like a small upgrade on paper, but it changes how relaxed you stay behind the wheel. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain delivers a smooth rise through the revs, the steering stays steady on winding roads, and the suspension keeps the body calm when the pavement turns rough. Updated SkyActiv engine. Mazda opens with a familiar design language that feels sharper this time. The stance is balanced, the lighting is clean, and the proportions stay true to the brand's focus on subtle, purposeful styling. It's a simple setup, but it prepares you for what matters next. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where Mazda keeps things tidy and intuitive. The layout flows flows well, the controls fall easily to hand, and the materials feel a step above what you usually find at this price. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The updated SkyActiv engine brings stronger low-end torque, so the car steps off the line with more confidence. It makes city driving easier and gives the car a steadier pull when merging or climbing hills while still keeping fuel use in check. Revised suspension tuning. Mazda sets the stage with an exterior that feels calm and confident. The body lines stay clean, the stance looks balanced, and the lighting creates a clear identity without leaning on heavy styling tricks. It's a design that works because it doesn't try to shout. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where the focus shifts to ease of use. The layout feels organized, the materials are well chosen, and the controls sit exactly where your hands expect them. It's a straightforward space that avoids clutter. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. This model gets revised suspension tuning that smooths out bumps without giving up Mazda's tight steering feel. The car stays settled over patchy roads, yet still turns in with precision when you push it. It gives the drive a calmer, more controlled rhythm. Optional all-wheel drive system. Mazda opens with a design that feels confident and well-proportioned. The lines stay clean, the lighting is sharp, and the overall shape keeps that familiar sense of balance the brand is known for. It's a calm exterior that hints at capability underneath. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where everything shifts toward clarity and comfort. The layout feels natural, the materials have a solid feel, and the controls sit exactly where you expect them. It's a space that supports the drive instead of distracting from it. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. This model adds an optional all-wheel drive system with faster torque shifts, giving the car better stability in rain or snow. It reacts quicker when traction changes, keeping the car settled and predictable, even on slick roads. Next-gen adaptive cruise. Mazda sets a clean first impression with an exterior that feels measured and confident. The body lines stay controlled, the lighting is crisp, and the proportions keep the design grounded without chasing trends. It creates a steady foundation for what comes next. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where the focus shifts fully to ease of use. The layout stays simple, the materials feel carefully chosen, and the screens and controls are arranged so you don't have to think twice. This sets the stage for the biggest upgrade. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power and assistance. The next-gen adaptive cruise control smooths out acceleration and braking, making highway travel feel calmer and more predictable. The system reacts with a more natural rhythm, reducing that on-off pulse older systems sometimes have. New 360-degree camera system. Mazda starts with an exterior that's confident without being flashy. The lines are clean, the stance feels balanced, and the lighting signatures give the car a sense of presence that's subtle yet purposeful. It's a solid first impression that sets expectations high. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where technology begins to show its real impact. The new 360-degree camera system steps up with sharper resolution and wider viewing angles, giving you an almost bird's-eye perspective. Maneuvering in tight spaces feels easier, parking becomes more intuitive, and blind spots shrink significantly. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain remains responsive, the steering precise, and the suspension filters the road efficiently, keeping the drive confident and composed. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Mazda starts with an exterior that feels intentional and composed. The proportions stay balanced, the lighting is precise, and the overall design maintains a sense of quiet confidence without leaning on gimmicks. It sets the stage for what's inside. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where connectivity takes center stage. The wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto now run with reduced latency, meaning apps launch faster, navigation updates instantly, and music streaming feels seamless. The system allows you to stay connected without fumbling for cables, making every drive more intuitive. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The engine remains responsive, the steering precise, and the suspension absorbs bumps with poise, giving the car a confident feel on any any road. Improved fuel economy. Mazda begins with an exterior that feels both purposeful and balanced. The lines are clean, the stance confident, and the lighting gives the car a presence that's understated yet deliberate. It hints at refinement before you even open the door. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where focus shifts from design to efficiency. Materials feel thoughtfully chosen, the controls are intuitive, everything supports a sense of ease that complements the car's efficiency. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. Thanks to engine refinements and subtle aerodynamic upgrades, fuel economy sees a noticeable improvement. Acceleration feels smooth, the drivetrain responds predictably, and long drives require fewer stops at the pump, all without compromising driving enjoyment. Rear seat USB-C ports. Mazda sets the tone with an exterior that feels clean and composed. The body lines are balanced, the stance confident, and the lighting signatures sharp without being over the top. It presents a sense of purposeful design right from the start. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where convenience takes center stage. Rear seat USB-C ports ensure passengers can charge devices without fuss, while a larger center storage bin makes stowing essentials effortless. These small touches improve daily usability and elevate the overall experience without calling attention to themselves. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The engine responds smoothly, the steering remains precise, and the suspension keeps the ride composed across varying road surfaces, maintaining Mazda's signature balance. Expected starting price. Mazda opens with an exterior that feels purposeful and refined. The lines are crisp, the proportions balanced, and the lighting creates a confident presence without overstatement. It sets the tone for what you can expect inside and out. However, the greatest contrast lies in a cabin, where technology and comfort combine seamlessly. Materials feel premium, controls are intuitive, and the tech feels modern without being overwhelming. This sets the stage for the value proposition. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain remains responsive, the suspension composed, and the steering precise, maintaining Mazda's signature balance and driving engagement. Main rivals include the Honda CR-V. Mazda begins with an exterior that immediately conveys balance and composure. The clean lines, confident stance, and precise lighting hint at refinement and purpose, setting expectations before you even open the door. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where comfort and technology combine seamlessly. The controls are intuitive, materials feel premium, and the overall layout supports a calm, connected driving experience, reinforcing Mazda's reputation for thoughtful design. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain responds smoothly, steering remains precise, and the suspension keeps the ride composed over varied surfaces, giving the car a confident, connected feel on the road. Overall value, Mazda starts with an exterior that immediately conveys poise and confidence. The clean lines, balanced proportions, and sharp lighting create a sense of refinement that hints at the thoughtful engineering beneath the surface. However, the greatest contrast lies in the cabin, where premium touches elevate the experience without feeling overdone. Soft materials, intuitive controls, and a well-laid-out interface create a space that's comfortable, modern, and surprisingly engaging for its segment. Moving beyond the cabin, let's finally talk power. The drivetrain is responsive, the suspension keeps the ride composed, and steering remains precise, giving the car a lively, connected feel whether you're navigating city streets or open highways.